Hello everyone, and welcome to the Deep Blue Renegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deep Blue Renegade, and I'd like to welcome you guys to episode 254. Today is Sunday, November 25th, 2018, and I'm glad you could join me today. It has been exciting, or what would it be? It's been a lovely vacation. I don't know if it's been exciting. So I have quite a lot to show you guys this week, I think. So I decided not to start anything new in preparation for what would be all that vacation around Thanksgiving. And I have been rewarded with 2 finished objects. It's also a little bit awkward because I have not yet started anything new. But such is life. So the first item is the Sizzle Pop, which is a Leslie Ann Robinson pattern. I'm just noticing interesting pooling. I think it's just the camera picking up on some things and not others, so no worries. But what would be, so this is 8 ounces of fiber made into a double thick thing. And so I can stretch it to be my wingspan, but it doesn't quite naturally want to be that, as you can see here. So I'm going to block the living daylights out of it and see what happens. Primarily to sort of get a little bit more length here for it to stay properly. If that fails, then I might end up seaming it to make it into more of a bandana type thing. So that might be the case where I figure out what head width is and just sort of make it work like so. So we'll see how things come out, but as it stands right now, it's pretty small. Like, I could wear it like this, but there's a lot to it right now. So we'll see after blocking what ends up making sense. It may mean that, It may mean that I do need to turn it into more of a cowboy thing than a scarfy thing. So that was interesting. It makes me sort of wonder which way I wanted to knit this yarn, but oh well, such is life. So, yay, done. So this is the blurple side, and this is the Quilter's Magic side with more greens. So it sort of is a little bit jaunty with that repeat going sideways down the shawl. And it had you do a knit 2 together style bind off, and so that has resulted in a really good stretchy edge. So it'll be fun to see how big this guy gets. But it might not, and we'll figure out something from there. I think it would make a really nice cowboy sort of scarf too, so we'll just have to figure out what amount of overlap makes sense. Because right now, the ends are just a little bit too short. So we'll see after blocking if it grows a little bit or not. So, project done. Handspun Muse. So this is Three Waters Farms Rambouillet. Oh boy, I'm just like a little bit funny right now. Like I feel, you know that feeling that you need to sneeze? I've got it. So, that guy's done. I was weighing it quite a lot while I was working on it. And I probably couldn't have gotten much more out of the project. So, this is how much I have in leftovers. So, a little bit of purple and a little bit more of the greens, so not not too crazy, so I'll probably make these into mini skeins and put them in with my hand spun stash leftovers after I figure out how much I have. But not a whole lot of extra on this one. I don't think I would have been able to do another row. But that's perfect because it managed to fit in another half a repeat. That was good enough for me. So the other thing that got finished, and as you guys know was actually really close to being finished last week anyways, was the mini dress. So the panels have been integrated. Every single one of these stupid ends has been woven in, or at least pushed to the other side. Sorry, it seemed like there might have been a little bit something weird on that. And the only thing left to do is to throw this in the washer and dryer and see what happens. So it shouldn't be too crazy. So I've got everything woven in, which was quite the ordeal. It pretty much took, Wednesday was a travel day for me, and I ended up spending pretty much all day Wednesday seaming and weaving in ends. Like, I barely had any time to knit on the shawl, so but it is done. So the plan is to wear this with a tank top and leggings, and it should be really lovely. So this is the mini dress. It is a Caddy Melville Ledbetter pattern. I got my copy from Mother Daughter Knits, but it is available as a standalone pattern. It is an intarsia dress that I knit out of Fiber Natura in the, so it was like their Fiber Natura flax, which was a sport weight, 100% linen blend, in the regatta, turquoise, and silver. So not too crazy. So I'm looking forward to giving this a round in the washing machine to do the cool linen process. And everywhere that I've handled this a lot, it just feels really nice. So I'm really looking forward to getting to wear this. It was not warm enough for New York. I wanted it to be warm enough for New York, but it was not, and that's fine. Get my brake band attached again. So the other thing that ended up getting a lot of love was my supported spindle project. So I am, what would it be? More than, or what would it be? So when you last saw this, I had an empty spindle, and I now have a much more full spindle, which is cool. I still have 0.6 ounces left, 0.6 or like 0.64. I just weighed it. So there's still quite a lot to be spun on this bad boy, but I did make a really good dent. I started this, I think, Friday after I'd finished the shawl, or Saturday. I know I was struggling a little bit getting a leader started on it. So I got this started. I probably should just stick a leader on because that would make life so much easier. So I got it started. I spun the leader the wrong way. It was a little bit of comedy error. But then I got to basically supported spindle the whole entire time because I had finished all of my knitting projects. So all I had left was spinning. So I did estimate correctly. I had enough knitting for basically the extra long weekend and had a little bit of extra buffer as well. But I will be starting a knitting project tonight, no doubt. So that is going along nicely, so I don't have too much more left to do on that, and that was like 2 days of spinning, so that shouldn't be too crazy. It isn't like I had oodles to do or something like that. So the other spinning that I did, and I don't quite remember where I left off on this project, but I am doing the singles for my last bin spin. I left the completed singles downstairs, but I did show you guys last week, so no big deal there. So this is Knitting in Color in the Geode colorway, and it is an 80/20 merino silk. And this is something that I got at SSK 2015. And I'm pretty far along, it feels like. I didn't weigh this. But I am getting pretty full on the bobbin. I probably have about a color repeat left to go on this. Not like it had a lot of color repeats in it to start off with, but I am jetting along on the purple, making my way to the turquoise, and then we've also got sort of greens here. And this is coming up true to color. What would it be? Maybe not the purples, but that's not blue, that's purple. Definitely purple. So, sort of aubergine-y, eggplant-y sort of purple there. So I have managed to get some good work done on that. I am spinning it on my regular flyer, but the fastest ratio on my regular flyer, just based on what I learned from knitting with this, that I was a little bit too uncontrolled in my twist. So, not too crazy there. So that's all the knitting, that's all the spinning. I have 2 spinning projects, but no knitting projects going. So, I have been talking quite some time about woolly sweaters, but I also want to knit a hat, so I'll probably cast on for a hat tonight and wind the yarn for a woolly sweater. Yay! So, I just know where everything is. So, I am going to be recreating my beloved hat with this handspun, and I have increased in skill and experience since making my original fiber optic spin. This is 80/20 merino silk in a long gradient. This is the rouge violet cerulean colorway, and I should just be able to start on one end and go till the end. I don't know whether or not I'll start from the top like I did with the last one. And I knit the original one on 4, so I'll have to sit down and figure out what I want that to be. Looking at the weight, it's probably a little bit thinner, so we'll see how things come together. And I spun this so I split the fiber and then I spun it as a 2-ply, so there are some regions in between colors where there is a mixture, which I think is cool. So just sort of adds to that fade look to it. So this will be a fun knit. And then with that, I have a whatever we could probably call this 3 or 4 different skeins that I would like to make a cowl with, or maybe a triangular shawl, I'm not sure. So should be interesting. These are all what would it be? So this is from the original hat, so it's a little bit on the darker end of things, or proof that I did learn quite a bit about spinning since my last rodeo. And then these 4 skeins were a mixture of the fiber optic, or a mixture of the fiber optic and what would it be, some gnome spun as well. So that should be super duper gorgeous to do as well, and the spirit of using my hand spun. I'm really sort of in love with how it turned out and very excited to work with it. So the other thing that's on the knitting docket is what's in this bag here. So this is my 2 colors for my breathing space. And I think this is going to be my woolly sweater of choice. So I have in this half a combo spin, combo ply mashup of Noel and Yuletide, I believe. And then this green here is Mistletoe, sorry. The shine, it's too much. And I'm probably going to end up, what would be, because I definitely had way more of this in terms of yardage, so I'll have to figure out what would it be, how I'm going to end up breaking it up. It may be the case where I will do neckband and all of the trim in this, but then sort of have the bodice be this darker green. We shall see. It should be hand spun delight, and then this is like a really nice sort of, what would it be? A nice sort of evergreen sort of green. So that should be a lot of fun as well. So just figure out where I want to put stuff. Nice big winding party. Should be good fun. So definitely excited about new beginnings. What would it be? And definitely the case where they're just new beginnings all over the place right now. So what would it be? Recording schedule may or may not be screwed up. I'm trying to avoid many weekend trips, but I can't guarantee. Things are gonna get a little weird around here for sure. But yeah, no, there's definitely no room for that one in the handspun zone. So I think it's looking good for next week. We'll see. So that is what's going to be getting onto the needles fairly soon. We'll probably need to do at least a little bit of swatching to figure out what's going on with the sweater, but it's now safe to wind. It's the time for beginnings. So, not too shabby. I ended up receiving a couple of gifts. One of the things that I ended up receiving from my husband's aunt is felted soap, or soap in a sweater. So this is local soap with, I don't even know what this scent is, but it's very nice. So the soap is in here, and then the little felts around it, and then it shrinks as you use it. So I think that ends up being pretty cool. So nice little handmade gift there, which I think is pretty cool. So this will be fun to use. I figured that you guys would all very much so appreciate an alpaca! So this is something that my mother-in-law ended up giving to me. It was the case where she was a little surprised that the little library had a gift shop, but you can see the happy little alpaca. So it is very soft and very fluffy and very cute, so it will probably be living with the knitting accoutrements. Sorry, I'm just pondering what's going on there exactly. So it will probably be living with some of the other things that are hanging out up here. So not too shabby there. And then the last thing is that, what would it be? I ended up getting my much delayed birthday present. So this is a 3 bags full bag from Etsy. And what would it be? I think my mother-in-law enjoys giving me gifts like this. So it comes in this like crazy psychedelic purple with a nice sturdy zipper. And then a very cool stripy lining with some pockets, or one pocket. So very, very nice, very, very fun. So then it has the lay flat bottom, and then a nice big loop on the side for carrying around. And then the loop is on the correct side with the orientation of the zipper, which I appreciate. So, nice little bag here. Should be good for all of my various shawl knitting needs, or it'd probably actually be good for the hat as well. So, very nice. She is super sweet. She always makes sure to, what would it be? She always comes armed with presents. So I definitely appreciate that. Okay. I think that is everything this week, so lots to show, but what would it be? I guess things aren't quite blocked, so we'll probably see them again next week all blocked and stuff, which is fine. Don't mind that. So, it's still not time to think about new project, or what would be new spinning projects. It's still chaos around here, and probably will be chaos for the foreseeable future. Quite a lot of it. What would it be? So we got to have a break from all of the decluttering with Thanksgiving and not needing to worry about anything. But we've been back at it today, so we'll just slowly but surely take care of things until victory. I know there's definitely a couple of things in the knitting room that probably need to live in a different space, so we'll see if we get everything cleaned out, whether or not it ends up becoming like a staging area for this is what we are keeping around, this is what we've gone through, this is sort of what we've packed up. So I'm not sure at this point. There's definitely a couple of random things. For example, the Jersey Oval one did throw and go through the first round of firing for 2 yarn bowls, but they still need glaze and the second round of firing, so what would it be? Those have been sitting here for 4 years now, 4.5. Silliness. So I may need to get my connections to try to figure out where there's a place where we can glaze and fire some knitting accoutrements. Various paraphernalia. And then just other, there's a box that's labeled Legos, or it's labeled Legos and shoes. I'm not sure whether or not what's in the box is actually what's there, so life's a mystery sometimes. Or it may just be that the box used to be Legos and shoes and is no longer, it has not been relabeled as such, so that's what I am dealing with right now. And like, what would it be? I started to go through the kitchen, but what would it be? Some things are apparently harder than others. So what can you do? Can't predict these things. So we shall continue to make progress there, but it has been nice to sort of clear the deck. You guys know how much I like, and for whatever reason seem to tend to finish 2 things at once and then start 2 new things, so that shouldn't be too crazy, just like a little bit crazy, but hopefully the hat does not take as long as the sweater. And then in terms of other things, there's definitely the pot, or what would it be? I have been pondering what stuffies to make for my nephews. So if you guys have any ideas for cute stuffed animal or stuffed toys, I'd be really excited to hear about it, especially if I can do like fingering held doubled. I'm thinking about like raiding my collection of sock yarn, or all of my scraps, because it seems like it's taking up a lot of space now, in order to use some of that stuff up, because my sock mojo hasn't been super duper high lately. Maybe it does need to be higher, but oh well, whatever. So I think that would be a really good, fun use of scraps. That would be like super cool to make a crazy marled monster. So if you guys have any ideas, what would it be? I might be able to knit a dragon for my brother's son. I might need to come up with a different pattern of stuffy for my sister's son, because they already have the dog, they already have the dragon, so I might need to come up with a third animal for their knit stuffed animal menagerie. So shouldn't be too crazy, but I appreciate all inputs from you guys, so something that's worked well for you guys in the past. I think that's everything now, so I'll have to play it by ear as to recording next week. There might be a little bit of travel coming up. I haven't quite, what would it be? I always hate when you're like, it's not booked. I have to get some coordination going there, but that's not the end of the world. And it shouldn't be, I don't think it'll be that crazy, but it might be a little bit crazy. And that was another very interesting thing. I'm gonna have to figure out who I bought my Xiaogu mini set from. It turns out that both of my size 1.5 tips are bent, so sort of frustrated about that, but I know Xiaogu's service is super, so it shouldn't be a big deal, but I do need to figure out who I got them from so that I can get my 1.5s replaced. So that was just a little bit frustrating. I had been keeping it in my bag, so normally I would store them separate, but for some reason it ended up in there and never left. And it wasn't pretty. So that's also, I think, the challenge that comes from, what would it be, having everything be so thin. So it's definitely the case where not very many other people have interchangeable sets in their size, and there's a reason, because it is super duper delicate, because the thinner you get, the weaker you are, and that's just good engineering principles. So I'm gonna have to look into that. I wasn't prepared to search that on my phone, but now that I'm back home and at my computer, not so bad. So with that, I hope you guys have a lovely week, and I look forward to talking to you guys soon. So take care, guys. Bye-bye.